Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the Silent K, and today I am super excited to announce that we have upgraded to 49.3 on MekHQ. Let me just swap these real quick. I'd like to start by recapping where we left off. We had just done a probe attack, got some parts in, we did some mothballing, we've got Kazuko Kamuta mothballing a bunch of mechs, and he's doing them consecutively, so it's going to be a couple days before we get the rest of those. Still on my list of things to do. Yeah, I'm just doing a quick recap, so now would probably be a good time to go do that if you want, especially if you remember where we were last time. I did spend a little bit of time rewatching last week's episode, so I didn't make it to the end. So I'm a little refreshed, but not quite as much as I would like to. Oh. Okay, yeah, we have audio. I always freak myself out by thinking we don't have audio. 49.3 FM. 49.3? What kind of station is that? That sounds like an AM station, 493. Lark, pleasure to have you. Varank. Okay, yeah, good to know. I appreciate you guys keeping me straight. We had been doing some repairs at the last minute for that last mission. I remember that the Lark's Hunchback went in partially repaired and almost took a medium laser to that right rear torso, which would have destroyed that autocannon, but instead it was just a machine gun, which didn't quite breach the armor. Missed the last HPS stream, but I watched it over YouTube. Okay, so you know where we're at there. Do you remember where we're at on MegaMek? Because, again, I rewatched most of the last week's stream, but I missed the end. I kind of ran out of time due to circumstances. I was just doing a quick recap. We had salvaged a bunch of stuff. We had done some repairs. And then we did a recon mission where apparently we captured Melvin Bradford and convinced him to defect. Also Carlos Alacia, Baruna Viral, Fortunata Pesqueto. And all of these defectors will be members of our team after this contract is over. I'm not going to have them fighting against their former comrades. Hatched a fire starter and another mech. Mulched a fire starter and another mech. Nice. So we had some salvage, we had some prisoners. We've got some battle loss compensation. Nothing too bad. Everything is under about 28,000. And then we had salvaged a Saladin. Now we are running 49.3 now, so I do want to do a quick recap, and then I would also like to go through the options. So that's going to take just a little while, because there's a lot of options to go through, and there are some things that I would like to tweak, given that I have been playing side games and kind of trying to gauge what works and what doesn't work, and there's a couple of things that I've stumbled across that I would like to change. The first thing that comes to mind is the leaping rule, where a mech is allowed to drop more than 2 elevation levels with a PSR to avoid damaging its legs. So our TO and E, I did have to change the camo because the camo from 48 that we were using was not available in 49. So I forget what it was called, but I can pull it up real quick. We're using Gamma Galaxy from Cloud Cobra because I liked the blue and yellow contrast with the primarily gray. Playing side games, you're cheating on us. It's not cheating, it's off the clock. So we are using now technically clan camouflage, but that's because the cloud camo that we had been using was no longer available. I did make sure that I had the portraits swapped over at least. the Hoser's Ride is also using a new camo, but I tried to keep it as true to what I had been using. Gemini does not need to take that as an excuse because I don't do anything off the clock as far as she's concerned. Although, you know, with I do have a new job, so that's going pretty well, I would say, and I've not been doing anything off the clock for them either. So, no, not cheating on you guys, not cheating on her, not cheating on them, not cheating. Cheating is not a thing that I do. I might fudge a dice roll here and there when I'm playing tabletop, but not to anyone's detriment for sure. Yeah, new job, selling car parts. So kind of something, and I actually got into a conversation on Facebook earlier about the artwork of Dwayne Luce, and I shared a tidbit about myself, and that is that the artwork of Dwayne Luce actually got me interested in military mechanical kind of things in general at a very early age, and it was honestly his artwork that probably got me into working as a tank mechanic in the Army, which is probably what got me into working on cars as a civilian, and then which kind of led me to where I'm at now. So yeah, all credit to Dwayne Luce for his artwork and his influence. So yeah, this is the lance as it currently stands, and as you can see, we do have another lance over here, but it's currently empty. But yeah, we've got some repairs to do, we've got some injuries to take care of. Tankers rise up, T-6472 gang. I was a tank mechanic working primarily on M1 Abrams, specifically the M1A2. So yeah, back to the matter at hand. We are currently on this contract for another, 33 days? Because there's 31 days in May, so 34 days, I believe. Nothing currently on the schedule, but it's Friday, so that could change in the next couple of days. Quick refresher, we are on Wing, which is kind of at the very northern part of, I think this is Liao space. And we do plan on heading northward through the Federated Commonwealth up towards kind of the Rasselhag Republic. And I always right-click on this map because that's what I do in MegaMek. The Fighting Bulldogs were actually on Santander 5, right here, when the clans invaded, so that was fun. Oh, Free Worlds League? Free Worlds League is Merrick? Yeah, Merrick is purple, Liao is green, right? I can never keep them straight. Also, referring to them as Free Worlds League versus Merrick or Liao always confuses me. I remember that Federated Commonwealth is Steiner and Davian. I remember that Kirita is the Draconis Combine. But Liao and Merrick, Free Worlds League, and yeah, those always confuse me. So I've got probably 60 to 80% of the Inner Spheres factions memorized by color and name. This is grouped by unit. I had a second to do that before I got started. We have 3 administrators, 1 who is logistical and HR, and 2 for command. And our logistical HR elite administrator is going to be hugely instrumental when we end this contract. Do we need to know their names? All crushed under the mighty fist of House Steiner. Yes. That big yellow section of the map is all... This is where I relate to, is this big yellow section. And honestly, I do believe that the clans were introduced to keep them from taking over the entire Inner Sphere, because that is, I feel like, the course that they were headed on. Although Gribbly or someone who is maybe more well-versed in the lore probably could come up with several other reasons why that was not the case. Because again, I have not done as much research or reading as I probably should have, considering how much I play the game. But just, it seemed to me like when the clans came out and the Federated Commonwealth was a thing, like the Federated Commonwealth was ready to take on the entire Inner Sphere, and that's just kind of the opinion that I've had for the last 20, 25 years. So yeah, we have 3 doctors, we've got several mechanics, not enough mech techs, not enough elite mech techs for sure, having 0 of those. Mech warriors were also, I mean, we have enough for 2 lances. It's the techs really that is the limiting factor. The maintenance and the repairs, we just don't have the technical expertise for that. We've got field gunners and foot platoons through here. And then we do have a handful of tanks and artillery down here. The hangar is considerably more full. We do have several things mothballed and being mothballed, again by Kazuko, what's his name? Kazuko Kamuta is going to be doing all of our mothballing because he is our green tech. And then, of course, our tanks and our infantry. We've got not a whole lot in the way of spare parts. I'm used to a list that's much longer than this, honestly, but I mean, it's a starting unit, so what do you expect? And I normally organize it by detail and by name so that I can find what I'm looking for. Repair bay, we will come back to that. We had a couple people who were injured. I went ahead and assigned them. That was Jacoby, and I think one of the prisoners was injured. The clans made one mistake invading my planet. Yes, always a good callback. Financially speaking, we're sitting right at 11 million. Apparently we peaked around 16 million here. So our finances are, did I see 20? Yeah, I saw 20 million for just a brief period, and then we bought an Atlas. That was at the beginning of March though, so that was, I think, was that before this contract started? No, that was mid-contract. So having gone through all of the tabs and getting our status update, we do have some options I would like to look at. Not so much the general, and again, this is our camo. I did find that once I got up to an A-rated, or an A+ rated mercenary unit, I found that the missions became, shall we say, prohibitively difficult. So I ended up using actually a negative unit rating modifier to counteract the successful missions that I had that were bumping the rating up and making the missions more difficult, especially with StratCon, which will become a thing starting next contract. Repair and maintenance, I'm okay with leaving this the way it is. Supplies and acquisition the same. Yeah, this is actually a little bit different than I remember. I hadn't gone over too much of this with the Fighting Bulldogs since I upgraded to 49.3, so this does look a little different than I'm used to. But we are disallowing acquiring clan parts is the big thing. We are disallowing extinct parts. We're not allowing the purchasing of clan units or parts. We are technically allowed to purchase non-canon units, although I will avoid doing that for the most part. But I want to leave that unchecked right now because I do have at least one mech that I would like to at some point incorporate into the campaign that is a custom 100-ton variant of the Rifleman, basically, known as the Gunner, which you would know from my match with Gribbly. It mounts 2 PPCs and 2 autocannon 10s, and there's several different versions of it that are all varying levels of effectiveness with the heat sinks and the armor. You're not disallowing extinct parts. Yes. So yeah, go ahead and check that. Let's see, for personnel, we're not using individual initiative, so the individual initiative bonus is not necessarily a thing. I do want to log their skill gains in the personnel log and special ability gains and edge in their personnel logs, as well as I would like to in the daily log if that's an option. Wow, there's a lot of content in 49.3 that I'm a little less used to. Things are formatted a little bit differently because I know that the commissioned and enlisted were options in 48, but I don't think it was side by side taking up quite so much space. But for the most part, I am going to leave this unchanged. I'm going to leave the default settings for a lot of this stuff. I do believe that this entire section is new for 49. And again, I'm fine with the default settings for that. Random marriages I will leave unchecked for now. We could maybe discuss that if we want to maybe enable random marriages, but for now, we're going to leave that the way it is. We're not going to pay for repairs because I feel like that's just a little too much bookkeeping, and also we're already paying for the parts, we're paying for the techs, so I like a little bit more overhead I don't feel is necessary. We're going to mostly the changes that I wanted to make honestly were in MegaMek and not the MekHQ, so a lot of this is just going to remain standard. Once we get to special abilities, there might be a couple things that I want to add. I did want, because at some point we are going to pick up a dropship, so I wanted to bump that down, and I wanted to bump this up to 1. I don't expect us to ever have a warship though. If it does happen, we'll go ahead and include 0.1% of that in our contract payment. Experience, we are leaving that at 1 per kill, 1 per 20 tasks, which is different from the default. Default is 20. Okay, there should be a bar down here so that I can slide left and right, but I believe this is 2d6 roll of greater than 10, or 10 or greater. So people will be picking up random XP just for being in the unit. 4 weeks for administrators might be a little much because administrators do tend to pick up XP really quickly, especially relative to techs and mech warriors. We're not messing with the skill costs. I'm fine with those the way they are. We do want to add gunnery energy. Oh, misclicked. Add a special ability, gunnery energy. I believe the cost on that was 20, and that comes with a prerequisite of gunnery specialization, if I can find it. And a skill requisite of gunnery or gunnery or gunnery. Go ahead and make those regular, and we might as well include gunnery and gunnery, and we'll go ahead and make those regular as well, so that once you have a fair amount of experience, and again, that does require that you already have a gunnery specialization, but what this does is it adds an additional -1 bonus to your, for example, energy gunnery, so that if you do have gunnery specialization in say energy, which gives you a -1 bonus to your energy weapons, but at a +1 penalty to all of your others, you can increase that bonus to -2 for an additional 20 XP, but you're still getting the +1 to other types of weaponry based on that first skill, or that first ability. Vehicle, aircraft, and spacecraft, and those are all going to be regular. And we're also going to add ballistic. Did it move? I feel like it moved. Gunnery, weapon specialist, no. There it is. I'm pretty sure that's not where I was before. Oh, okay, so that. Gunnery, 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 gunnery. And these are all going to be regular as well. So that any of our regular gunnery pilots who have the gunnery specialization can then pick, and they can either neutralize the +1 penalty for, in the previous example I was using energy. So if someone was specialized in energy, oh, Rushnagar, hey, welcome, how's it going? I'm glad you could join us. I was just going over the options because we did just upgrade to 49.3, which is the development branch. I was adding special abilities. The gunnery specialization gives a -1 to hit modifier when using, for example, energy weapons, and a +1 modifier to ballistic and missile weapons in this example. If someone with the energy specialization also takes gunnery ballistic, then they would have a -1 with energy weapons, a net 0 with ballistic weapons, and a +1 with missile weapons. Or if they took gunnery energy, they would have a -2 with energy weapons and a +1 with ballistic and missile weapons. But again, that costs 20 XP, and honestly, I should probably limit those to 1 per pilot, but that's more hassle than I want to deal with right now. I'll just try to remember that. Oh, speaking of Rushnagar and other members of our newer follower groups, I do want to shout out, we have new followers on Twitch. We have Haas00312 and Narlak have followed on Twitch, so shout out and thanks to them. Every little bit helps. Like, comment, follow, subscribe, be a part of the community, join the Discord, link in the description, yada yada yada. You guys know the drill. Were there any other special abilities that I wanted to add? Let me just double check, because I did notice there were some lacking. Iron Man sucks. I do not like Iron Man. It's pain resistance without the bonus to consciousness checks. It is literally useless compared to pain resistance. EI implants we're not going to use. Clan pilot training we're not going to use because we don't have any clan clan trained pilots. Small pilot is one that I wanted to add, and a trick that I found is that if you make it an XP cost of -1, it is not available for purchase. It will only be available to newly spawned pilots. So a normal pilot cannot become a small pilot, but someone may be generated as a small pilot, which negates the penalty for cramped cockpit, which is cool. Yeah, so the cramped cockpit gives you a +1 penalty on all piloting checks. I believe it's all piloting checks. It might just be piloting checks to remain standing. But small pilot negates that. So it's kind of niche, very specialized ability, but it is one that I want to include. It's one that can come in handy if you have a mech with a cramped cockpit and a small pilot. You kind of want to match those up to try to gain the best out of both worlds. Skill randomization we're not going to mess with. Rank system I have tried messing with, and honestly I've run into problems. I kind of wish that Recruit and Spaceman Recruit were at E3 so that you could add 2 ranks without altering anything else. We're not going to do all roles, but we're going to do everything except Dependents and Soldier. We don't need portraits for our soldiers. And again, we're using against the bot, we're playing at skill level green because even on normal, it's pretty brutally hard. And once we finish this contract, we will be checking this box, which small cockpits or units with the cramped. Okay, small cockpits, I didn't realize. I don't think I have anything with a small cockpit. So that's good to know. I appreciate the heads up. StratCon we'll be using at the end of this contract, but not until then because I've heard that enabling it early can kind of mess with some things. So again, we're not using share systems, so a lot of this is kind of moot. We're not doing retirement or defection rolls because I don't like them. And if anything does come up, we do have the ability to customize those. Founders never retire, and everyone who is in the Discord or in the chat who is part of the game is considered a founder. We do have dependents enabled, and we're not tracking unit fatigue because when it tracks unit fatigue, it does not specifically ever tell you what your fatigue level is. You have to track it manually, and different contracts will fatigue the unit more rapidly or more slowly, and then spending time away from combat or on garrison duty can restore the unit. So those are the changes we're making there. Now for MegaMek options, I kind of want to skip ineligible during movement just so that people can't sync their initiative with turrets and unconscious pilots, things that, you know, cannot move. I do like the paranoid autosave just in case anything happens. Let's see, what else did I want to change specifically? We're not using random basements, or at least we shouldn't be. I think sometimes it still checks under certain conditions. Victory conditions will vary by mission. Allowed units and equipment, we're not enabling cannon units only. We're also not enabling invalid unit designs. We're trying to keep everything legit, even if it is customized. You should probably join the game. Yeah, link to the Discord in the bio. Hit me up, let me know. All I really need is a name for your pilot, but if anything else that you would like to include as far as like homeworld, birth date, preferred unit, if you'd like to bring a unit with you, standing invitation. All that happens basically is that your character approaches Murdoch, the commander of the Challenger Deep, and says, hey, either I'm bringing a mech with me or I'd like to drive a mech for you. And yeah, I can just write you up a character. Elite pilots are still off the table for now because Elite is the best pilot that we have, and that is Murdoch. But other than that, if you'd like to be a veteran, regular or green, if you'd like to have any secondary skills, anything like that. Yeah, the Hunchback Winter War. Winter War, is that what that translates to? I had no idea. So yeah, join the Discord, be a part of the game. I will try to take into consideration any tactical or strategic decisions that you would like to make to the best of my ability. If you're not in the chat, or if you're slow to respond in the chat, I may make a decision on your behalf. I will try to avoid that. For example, Hoser, Varank, has made it clear that he prefers to keep at a distance, so I do try to keep him at a distance, even though he has all those wonderful medium lasers that I like to get in close with, but I do try to take that into consideration. You know Battletech better than I do, so okay. Well, for the nitty-gritty, I feel like I'm pretty good at like maximizing evasion and two-hit rolls, but for example, like I said, Varank has said I would like to keep my distance and try to take advantage of the range of the PPCs that I have. So I will try to do my best to do that. And if you'd ever like to join a game, there may be some multiplayer games in the future. I know Gribbly has definitely suggested that he would like to be part of a 2v2 or a 3v3 or maybe even a larger game that we could do. Scheduling might be a little bit of an issue, but yeah, I'm definitely down to try something bigger. To where, like, if there were like 4 players, they would probably only have a lance apiece. But even in like a one-on-one game, like, I feel like playing against someone rather than the computer can be more informative, because then they can explain decisions and aspects of the game that you might not get from the bot. So yeah, always down for playing with you guys. You know, whenever, wherever, scheduling permitting. The skin of teeth ejection we had started with on, but I had turned it off because we do have more than 4 pilots now. So if someone dies to a, say, lucky Gauss rifle to the head, they're gonna actually be dead. Need to feed Lark opportunities, commit war crimes on the regular. Yeah, he wants a hunchback with a nuclear launcher on its hunch. I know what Lark wants. We do have, you know what? We could turn self-destruct on. I don't know if Princess would use that, and if she did use it, I don't know if she would use it well, but it would give us the option of at least denying salvage to the enemies. Although I believe with the ammo explosion option turned off, there is no tactical advantage to doing that, and at least we would have salvage for ourselves. Autocannon was a nuke last week, right? Yeah, that autocannon was, let's see, it was the week before last that you took out that 1 hunchback in 1 shot, and then last week you backshot a hunchback with your autocannon. You didn't quite kill it, but you had it down to 1 point. I've never had Princess use it. Okay, well, we will enable self-destruct just in case we ever need to do something like that for any reason. We are using the inclusive sensor ranges, but we are not revealing all unit information with that. We do have mag scan sensors bypassing hills according to this option. We are not burning down woods. Extreme temperature survival, is that the option? Yes, I wanted to turn this on because infantry dying in 10 seconds in the snow is just a little ridiculous. Now, I don't know exactly how much time that gives us, but at least it gives us some time. Mech Warriors can spot metal content for mag scan sensors. I believe that's for buildings. Will block mag scan sensors if this is checked. I do like the risk inherent in mask and superchargers. We're still, I think, a little ways away from using that. But we're going to go ahead and leave those unchecked for now. We do have floating criticals, floating criticals enabled. I don't see any reason not to be able to use AMS as a machine gun. We're not turning on engine explosions, which I believe is the same one that allows you to self-destruct for strategic advantage, because it also means that anytime that we kill a mech, there's a good chance that any of our mechs adjacent to it will be obliterated. And I'm not trying to lose mechs to kill shots. I did want to turn on diagramming line of sight. There may be a couple of aspects of that I'm less familiar with, but according to the current rules, if I'm on a level 2 hill and there's a level 3 hill between us and you're behind a level 1 hill, I can see you. And to me, that just doesn't quite quite make sense. Let's see. Field inhibitor disengage. We'll check that and we'll see how Princess uses it. If she doesn't seem to abuse it or misuse it, we can leave it checked. I don't like glancing blows or direct blows. I prefer the rules as they're stated in the tabletop rules for that. Same with the burst fire machine guns. Partial cover? No. Standard rules for partial cover. Hot loading, I believe, allows you to negate the minimum range penalty for LRMs under certain conditions, but we're not going to mess with that. Gauss weapons can be powered up or powered down to disable the risk of them exploding. Ammunition is similar to the cascading engine failure, to where enough ammunition goes up, it can destroy adjacent units. We're going to leave that one unchecked as well, just because, largely because we have more to lose than the enemy. If the enemy loses a mech, that's a very temporary setback for the princess, because the next mission they have whole new mechs. For us, it's a much bigger setback because our stuff carries over. So that is a huge disadvantage in a campaign situation, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that unchecked. I think it was under advanced ground movement. I did want to enable sprinting, and I wanted to enable leaping, which it seems like I already had enabled in this game. The leg damage rule, I think I want to leave standard. Acceleration, reverse gear, turn mode, and hold down, we're going to leave all of those. Attempting to stand, I'm tempted to turn on. I'm open to feedback on that one. If you guys think that damaged or destroyed arms should make it harder to stand, I'm open to feedback on that. But for now, I will leave it unchecked. Most of the rest of this is going to be fine. Aerospace I'm not going to mess with. Initiative rules. Infantry is kind of a sticking point for me, because I feel like it can pad your initiative and you can use it to sync initiative, but I'm going to go ahead and leave that for now. So that is those options. Okay. Well, cool. I will check that out after the stream. And unlike some nights, I will be able to be on Discord until fairly late tonight, seeing as how I will be free all day tomorrow as well, so I don't have to be up early or anything like that. So let's go ahead and save. We're going to save over my most recent save, which was the one where I had set the camo. And then we've got some repairs to do. We're going to start with... Okay, so we've got the Archer with some armor damage, we've got the Orion with some armor damage, the Awesome with just a little bit of scratched paint. I think I want the Stalker in the transport bay to start with, and the Hunchback being more heavily damaged as well. Did I hear Battletech all day tomorrow? Is that what you heard, Lark? I don't plan on streaming all day, but if you guys really want, I can maybe do like a bonus episode or something midday tomorrow. I won't have the house to myself or anything like that, but I should be able to get in a little bit of gaming if there's demand for it. Okay, so alright, so we can do an unscheduled stream. 9, what's tomorrow, the 3rd? Yeah. 9/3/21. What time works for you guys? I'm thinking midday, so I can do it while Gemini is at work. she's working early tomorrow, so like from 10 to 12 maybe. Dinosaur with his notepad again. Yeah, well, it's convenient and it works for me. So yeah, 10 to 12 I think would probably be ideal for me. That's Central Standard Time. That's Central America. So, you know, obviously that's 6:41 Central Time right now. So that would be, you know, 17, 18 hours from now. And yes, I like notepads. Don't hate on the notepad. I'm gonna have Lark doing repairs on his own mech, or at least as far as, like, you know, fixing the armor. We'll have him start that. Halima will be doing all of our ammunition for the day. The Orion with so many ammo bins. Awesome, of course, doesn't have any ammo. The Stalker with the SRMs and the LRMs. Alright, so that is a pretty good start for the repairs for today. Okay, Chris on a 6, which is the best we're gonna get until we have an elite tech. Let's go ahead and get started on that. It's gonna be another 3 days at least. And that's 3 days of our best tech being occupied, but it is what it is. We'll have Veronica start doing the rest of this armor. And this left leg is going to take some time as well. We will have our lowest XP tech working on that. Because again, I'm trying to get as many of our techs up to veteran and elite as possible. And so I give the bigger jobs to the ones with the least amount of XP, and the smaller jobs to the ones who are about to level up. So that is the Huntback in the transport bay until tomorrow. 100 minutes goes to you. Alright, let's see if we can do it on a 6, and that'll be tomorrow. So the 30-minute jobs go to the ones with the most XP, because once he hits 20, we'll be in a much better shape. We'll at least have 2 veteran techs. We'll have her start on that and continue on that. And then what else do we have that he can knock out? Oh, that one's in the field. Actually, that should be a field workshop for what that's worth. Alright, so what was that? The Orion that we finished on? Yeah, we'll put the Orion in the field workshop. And that means we can get the... Let's go ahead and get the Awesome into a transport bay. And get started on some of this. Alright, so continuing on, I think that's about all we can do for the day. We've got some parts that we could be working on if we had, well, yeah, we've got an aerotech that can be working on this heat sink. On a 6 or better, fixed. Alright. And then no reason not to spend all day on a machine gun. That's already set. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, we've also got tanks that we could be working on. Or, no, all of our tank mechs are being occupied already. So yes, we do want to advance the day with unmaintained mechs. Okay, so B has fixed the armor on the Stalker. Veronica Hurst fixed the armor on the Stalker. Chris is still working on the right torso on the Hunchback, and we're hoping that'll be, what, Monday will be fixed. Lark fixes the armor on his own Hunchback. Halima fixes the left leg on the Hunchback, so that's cool. Telvasoda, Winter War, right? Yeah. Salvaging off the Hetzer. Salvaged the SRM2 off the Jolson. Large laser off the Jolson. Failed to replace the double heat sink on the Awesome on a 6. That was, I think, a 90-minute job. Alright, so we will have, I guess, B try that one, and again. Alright, so that is the Awesome taken care of, and we can put the Archer in the transport bay afterwards. 70 minutes is kind of a mid-level job. 20 minutes is for Loney. 25, 40, sure. And I think we need to maybe order another 800 points of armor, because I did not realize we were that low. Also, 48, it would have ordered immediately, and 49, we do have to wait until tomorrow to make those checks. So, that's a major difference. It's just a one-day delay. I know it's minor, but it is something that you kind of have to plan ahead just a little bit for. Alright, so that's one more mech fixed. Well, yeah, we'll have Lonnie try to do that because there's really nothing else he could be doing. Or we're just gonna have literally everyone try and fix the armor on this Stalker. Lark, we will have you try and get that on a 6 tomorrow. Meanwhile, we've got some Aero and some mechanic techs who could be working on this machine gun. Who do we want to give that XP to? I guess that's gonna be Doodles working on that machine gun. And there's no reason to be spending 400 minutes on it if we can do it on a 4. And I guess Halima can start on that. Alright, so going into Sunday. Alright, we did fix the armor on the Stalker. Way to go, Lark. Still working on that right torso. Hopefully we can roll a 6 tomorrow. If not, we will probably have to cut the time down on that and then just have everyone take a shot at it until it gets fixed. Or, oh, I don't want to fix. I don't want that to be broken permanently. That's just too much of a liability. Salvage the engine. Salvage the sensors off the Hetzer. It should be removed from the. We'll see here in a second. Still working on the right leg. We've got customization and mothballing all in progress. Yes, the Hetzer has been removed, so that's taken care of. Is there literally anything else oh yeah, we've got tanks that we could still be working on. We'll have, probably should have done this yesterday, have him remove those. 7. I mean, 1440 minutes is exactly 3 days for someone with 480 minutes, so we'll spend 3 days on that, no big deal. because we have, mechanics coming out the wazoo. Let's start on that. That'll be done tomorrow. That'll be done never. Then we'll have Doodles, who is trying to become our next veteran mechanic, working on the armor. Stabilizers I normally give to regulars and just have them do 2 a day. So we'll see how that works in this situation. Ammo bins go to green techs. Oh, okay, screwed that up, something fierce. We'll spend, she's doing maintenance, so it's gonna be several days, actually, for that. And then going into Monday will occur on 5/22. Okay, so we've got 4 days to prepare for another base attack, so hopefully we can get this right torso fixed. We did get a fresh autocannon 10. We got plenty of armor. Yeah, salvaging that engine is going to be a while. We did get the sensors and the stabilizer off the sensors off the Drillsons, stabilizer off the Saladin. Stabilizers, I should say. All 3 of them, looks like, came off without a hitch. Mothballed the Cronus, working on the Hunchback. That is the 4SP Hunchback that we have here, which is still missing an arm, but maybe we can get that fixed at some point. Actually, I mean, we've got 4 days. We're going to cancel that, actually. Oh, wrong tab. 4SP. Wow. Alright, let's try again on that torso with our best tech, and then we'll have, I guess, Loney working on that one. It's not likely, but let me check the warehouse for 50-ton left arms. We have 1 more in stock. So let's go ahead and maybe buy 3 more of those, because we might end up needing them. Alright, so that's being worked on, that's being worked on, that's being worked on, and then we'll have Doodles on stabilizers, green techs on ammo bins, and maybe this guy as well. Pasquale? I don't know. And then, honestly, an autocannon 20 is valuable enough that I kind of want to maximize our chances of getting that as well. Hey Joe, got any of those 50-ton left arms in stock? Maybe check the back. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, a 50-ton left arm, because the internal structure weighs 10% as much, so the entire skeleton weighs 5 tons. So the left arm should only be like a 1-ton item, and I mean, they definitely have that in stock. I don't know how or why, but we are 100% guaranteed to be able to find all 3 of those on the morrow. So what exactly are we looking at with this mission? We've got a Locust on our side. We've got 2 Lances, one of all mechs and one mixed. Dervish, Warhammer, Crusader, Orion, Hetzer, Wolverine, Rommel, and Archer. That Archer is a heck of a pilot too. Against 2 mixed lances and some infantry. A mixed lance and a mech lance. Wasp has the best pilot. If I were the best pilot in a unit, I would want something better than a Wasp. They also have a couple of strike fighters, a medium and a light, and some reinforcements in the form of some light mechs. So that's going to be interesting. This is probably going to be the mission that we put on hold until next week. We do have 4 more days on that. Let me just double check the hangar, make sure we're not leaving anything except salvage unmaintained. Yeah, it's just these 2. We're not worried about maintaining those because they'll be removed from the roster. Yeah, I'm glad we ordered extra parts for that. Alright, B. Would you like to try to fix that on an 8? It's only about a 40% chance of succeeding, but... and then we should have another shot at that tomorrow. Those will be done tomorrow. That'll be done never. Alright, so... I think, yeah. Infirmary, repair bay, warehouse. Those are all good and set and ready to go. Yeah. Alright. Alright, let's see how this goes. We did not get the arm on the Hunchback. Let's go ahead and... Okay, I see good news already. Halima, try again. Okay. Failed to get the arm on. Did fix the right torso on the Hunchback, so that is outstanding news. That means we don't have to be quite so worried about back shots because that Hunchback has no back armor. Saladin in progress. We did get the sensors off at least. And it's a shame you can't sell sensors because that would be pure profit because we're going to end up eventually with tons and tons of sensors, but they're not worth anything on the market. It's just XP. Speaking of which, Sabra Marsland is at 5 XP, so that's cool. Rifleman customization in 23, 24 days, something like that. Hunchback 4H mothballed. Another couple days for the Stinger, another couple days after that for the Trebuchet. And then the Hunchback SP will be tomorrow. Alright, moving on to the 21st. We did get the arm on the SP. We did get the engine out of the Saladin. Another 20 some odd days on the Rifleman. Stinger will be mothballed tomorrow. Trebuchet a couple days after that. So this SP, we just need to get some armor on it. Let's give that XP to Jacoby. I don't like 8s. I never like 8s. Even 7s is pushing it for me, but medium lasers are dime a dozen. And then yeah, we'll just do 1, 2, 3. And at some point I'm gonna have to do an audit and find out and make sure that we've got enough actuators for everything, but now is not the time, not while you guys are, waiting for me to get to the action, the good stuff. So that is the Saladin, which we can sell now, because it's nothing but a chassis and an ammo bin. And it's, 5,000 C-bills in our pocket, so that's cool. Why is this? Oh, because we weren't maintaining that one. Alright. Well, now that we have it completely fixed, that can go in mothballs for it to be a backup. A dime a dozen, but yet the most important laser. Yeah, speaking of which, I know I said I wasn't going to audit our actuators, but let me just check and make sure that we have more than one of these. Yeah, let's go ahead and order 11 of those so that we have an even dozen. That's, you know, expensive, but not heartbreakingly expensive. Base attack defender is today. We have been deployed. Armor has arrived, left arm has arrived. Rifleman in still 20 some odd days. Mothballed the Hunchback SP. Mothballed the Stinger. Trebuchet mothballed in 2 days. Hikari Ono finding all of the XP. He is actually only one shy of 20. What are we going to spend 20 XP on when he gets it? Negotiation, maybe? Negotiation, probably, because that has an impact on whether or not we get re-rolls on certain contract clauses. So actually, I kind of want to order some things so that he can get that XP. Yeah, what do we need to order for him? Or through him? Or by him? Or whatever. You know what? Let's just go ahead and look. Real quick, let me refresh. We've got 85, 80, 75, 70, and 50. So those are going to be the primary objects. Let's sort it this way, actually. 50, we've got foot, hand, lower arm, lower leg, and upper arm and upper leg. Let's go ahead, get a couple spares of these. We don't have any 55 tonners. 70 tonners. Oh, we'll go ahead and buy one of those and then probably sell the one that's lower quality. Upper leg, we only have one of. I know I said I was going to do this off camera, but foot, lower arm, lower leg, upper leg. We don't have any 75-ton hand actuators. Uh, 80 ton, we've got 2 of everything, 85 ton. And let's just go ahead and order another one of these as well. And with any luck, these items will give us another XP for Hikari Ono. More cowbell, more armor, nukes help negotiation, yeah. I'm sure they do. Armor. We've got 900 points. Yeah, we'll go ahead and order another 25 tons. And that should keep us until at least the end of the contract, because we're not going through it that quickly, I don't feel like. I mean, it's definitely something I don't want to run out of, but I feel like we're only going through maybe a couple hundred per mission, or maybe 300 or 400 per mission, so that should keep us going for a little while. And cowbell, I don't think is on the list for procurement. That said, we do have a mission today. So that is light urban, town generic, 55 by 45 map, daylight, clear weather, calm wind. We're going to be starting in the center. We do have 2 re-rolls, if maybe we wanted to use those for anything. I don't know if we necessarily want to, though. Oh, they've got a 1-3 and a catapult. I didn't see that before. They've got a 3-5 and an SRM carrier. That could be an issue. Do we want to maybe go for Dusk Dawn or maybe Windy? I mean, we have the Archer relies on missiles, so wind would be a detriment to him. The Orion has missiles, the Stalker has a lot of missiles. Fog, would be probably even worse with the Awesome, the Orion, the Stalker, and the Hunchback all reliant on lasers. But darkness would affect everyone evenly. This is a pretty big map, so maybe limiting visibility. I don't know. That laser carrier kind of scares me. The SRM carrier kind of scares me as well. And a 1-3 and a catapult is kind of a big deal as well. Do we maybe want to include any of our field gunners in this, since we are defending our base? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and deploy 3 of our field gunner teams, and we're going to use one of our rerolls to turn it into Dusk Dawn, try to close the engagement range a little bit. It drags the game out, and I think we have range. The Archer and the Awesome have range. The Stalker is kind of in between. It has the large lasers, it has the LRMs, but it also has the medium lasers and the SRMs. The Orion is kind of a mid-range engager. So if our visibility was 14 hexes, the Orion is pretty much guaranteed to be at long range or less. Alright, well, let us take some allied camo. Now for the civilian units, I like to go with something bright and impossible to miss. Something like spring green. And you can see just how bright those colors are. Those guys are going to really ping on the map. Free Worlds League, I actually don't know their camo that well. Do we have anything from Wing? No. Although, I see, yeah. We'll be blue and yellow against purple and white. I forgot they had reinforcements as well. Alright, so that makes everyone nice and easy to see, which is kind of the opposite effect that you want from your camo, but at least everyone knows who's on what side. Now, what are the ones to watch out for? We've got a Banshee with a less than average pilot is, oh, that's civilian units. So these are our guys. So the Banshee might actually be helpful. The recovery vehicle probably has no weapons. The Harvester has an SRM-2 and some machine guns. A couple Paramours with just machine guns. The Crosscut with no weapons. Do I maybe want to configure the bot to where these guys are more paranoid, more cautious? That Banshee could theoretically, with an autocannon 5 and a PPC, be useful. Base turrets, we've got a quad SRM-6 turret and a dual LRM-10 turret, so that's nice. So the Archer with the 3-2 pilot is the big guy to look out for, and the Catapult with the 1-3 pilot. Those are both going to be our primary targets. We need to take those guys down as soon as possible. That Archer is going to be tough to knock down. Oh, and that is the LRM-15 SRM-4 Archer. Alright, so for our map, we're looking at something like this. So they're going to have a little bit of cover approaching the city.
We could use one of our rerolls to bring down the number of forests that they have. Force them to come at us in the open. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So we had 2 rerolls. I'm gonna use the first one for this. Do we maybe want to bump up the water, make it even more difficult for them to approach? I think so. Okay. I guess that was with no lakes. Alright, yeah, I kind of try to break up the terrain a little bit and slow them down. That looks like the plan. That is what we're going with. That was our 2 rerolls. We have... Our team has lost the initiative. Within our team, we have almost lost the initiative. So we're deploying like 2nd or 3rd. Oh no, hold up. We're not deploying on turn 8 and turn 2 and 3. I need to restart this. We'll just remember what changes we made. Whoops. I appreciate you guys' patience with me. Natural features, we're going with no woods, low lakes. That's our 2 rerolls. Also, I did not check and make sure. Oh bother, it's going to have reset the camo as well. I'm seeing a lot of SPAs that I didn't double check. So we've got Sensor Geek, which is fine, Small Pilot, Gun Rate Missile, Terrain Master. Natural Aptitude Piloting we do not allow. If it'll... Oh, natural aptitude piloting on a turret doesn't actually make much of a difference. Sensor Geek, Terrain Master, likewise. Melee Master we replace with Melee Specialist, because that is the prerequisite. Maybe never liked limited visibility. It drags the game out. Okay, I should have noticed. Should have noticed. I missed something. Hopping Jack, Melee Specialist. Okay, those are all fine. So Federated Commonwealth. We're going with blue and yellow. Civilian units, bright green. Base turrets, bright green. Free Worlds League, Tamarind, purple and white. That you were deploying on turn 8? Yeah, I should have noticed as well. Speaking of which, I need to make sure and fix that before I do the same thing again. As soon as I finish fixing these camos. Thank you. Alright, yeah. So all of our people are deploying on round 1 because we are defending the base. We're not arriving at the base. So, alright, that looks right, yeah? Okay, so. And this time we have won the initiative-ish. We're still deploying 3rd on our team, but I assure you that was not intentional. I did not say, oh, we've lost initiative, let me restart this battle from the beginning. That was not how that was supposed to play out, although I did fail to notice. Where are they coming from? They're coming from the south and west. That's important to know. So, starting with, I guess, the field gunners. And these guys weigh about 50 tons. So I need to find a big, heavy building for them to be in, and I'm not seeing anything appropriate. 48 is close. 47 is close. Oof. Might have been a mistake making such a wide open map. Let's see, these are AC-10 field gunners, so I kind of want them to have a broad field of fire. And I also kind of want them to have plenty of backup. Against a Clint, maybe not so much. The laser carrier, I want to engage at long range. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is probably where we're going to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Hopefully we can kill that guy on turn 1. Excuse me. I needed that. Okay, so we've got a grasshopper over here that I feel like we can engage. Maybe take some partial. That's a height 1, height 3, or a height. Looking for a height 1, finding height 3. Should be height 1. Okay, so from here we've got partial cover against this whole area and a free clear view of all of that. So probably just going to camp out there and shoot everyone that comes nearby. A thunderbolt and that nasty catapult. I want to bring our stalker against that catapult. I want it out skilled and outclassed in every possible way. As a matter of fact, oh, there's a rifleman too. Lark, you're going to charge this rifleman and you're going to engage it at close range because he is a long range primarily mech. That is the plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So even if he stands still, it's going to be long range on turn 1. I think that's a good move. We've got a heavy over here. That is an archer. I want that SRM carrier to have deployed already, but I'm not seeing it. Yes, I know. Autocannon 10s. We'll go ahead and have them deploy up here where they're kind of hidden from everyone except this laser carrier who they can outrange. And a fire starter, of course. So we need to back those guys up. This Locust is a regular pilot, medium lasers and machine guns. I would like to engage that fire starter before he comes up on my field gunners. So that's what he's doing. And the Wasp over there. Still don't. There's the SRM carrier. All right, we will have the Orion over here. All right, so Lark, you're being backed up by Petra. You guys are engaging the SRM carrier and the rifleman primarily. The archer, that's not the same archer. Okay, this archer is the better pilot, who is almost undefended against. We've got some field gunners. We've got Wyvern over here. We're doing archer versus archer standoff up here as soon as we take out this laser carrier. Oh, what else do we? Oh, we've got the autocannon 20 as well, who honestly is probably gonna hide up here and just nail anyone that enters this zone. But mostly I want them safe. That's height 3, that's height 2. All right. All right, we have one turn 1 initiative due largely to our massive initiative bonus. They actually outrolled us, but you know, it is what it is. We do out BV them by approximately 3,000 and change, minus their air support. All right, so we will see how this goes. Starting off with these guys, y'all are gonna stand still and hope you're not a target. The laser carrier is almost definitely gonna try to make a break for this way, because this way is just slower. So we will sit tight here. You guys are definitely gonna have a target of some kind, I'm sure. All right. Wyvern at the laser carrier. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we could go here and still be out of his range, and that would be medium range for us. I like it. I want that laser carrier dead, and I want it dead now. Hoser, you're taking on a griffin and a grasshopper. And we're doing it with not even full partial cover, half of partial cover. I did see that the fire starter moved, so we will move to counter. 6 hexes works for me. At a range of 6, that gives us medium range with our medium lasers, and that keeps us out of range of a lot of his stuff. Petra in the Orion does not want to be within 6 hexes of that SRM carrier. I would rather be 6 hexes from the rifleman. Or even 7 hexes from the rifleman, because we have LRMs. Yeah, I like that. We'll walk. Alright. Murdoch. Coming up on the catapult and the thunderbolt, so kind of outgunned there. But, you know, it's kind of a priority. It's 1 less evasion, but it's 2 more range from the SRM carrier. And that, I think, is the important thing. That thing is just so scary. Alright. Field gunners have no target. They do have a target. On 11s. Yes, we will take that. We need to take this catapult down. Let's see, 12, 20, 5s. Oh, energy specialization. Yeah, we're going straight lasers on this guy. Oof, that might be a bit much. 1 large, all the mediums, and 1 of the SRMs. Warhammer is firing PBCs at the laser carrier as well, on 11s, but still, you know. We've got him on 9s. And we've got the Griffin on 15s. No. Hoser has the laser carrier on 6s. Wait, 34. Did we not get all of the heat sinks we're taken care of? Should have 38 heat sinks. What did I miss? Do I want to fire another large laser or a large laser on top of 3 PPCs? That would put us at 4 over for the turn. I kind of want to save that for when the Griffin gets closer. The SRM carrier is firing at Lark. He needs 10s, so he's liable to hit with 2 or so of those. I would like for him to be dead before he can do that again. Nines versus 8s. Yeah, the SRM carrier is just too scary. 11s, wow. 4, 5, 6 for running, 7, 8, 9, 11. Yeah, I guess that checks out. So Zhukov got autocannon 10s. Okay, that Zhukov is actually pretty scary, especially for a Locust. So we're gonna probably be backpedaling from there. Alright, SRM carrier does land, it looks like 7 SRMs on the Hunchback, center torso, left torso, right torso, center torso, left leg critical on the left lower leg, right torso, 6 more to the left torso, right torso, leg, center torso. Okay, so 3 of the SRM 6s hit for, what was that, 13 missiles? 3, 4, and 6, yeah. So that's going to be 2 PSRs, 1 for damage, 1 for the actuator, and they're both going to be at +2. So hopefully we don't go down. Buster Mech at the SRM carrier and missing, Wolverine missing a building, Field Gunner's missing, Rifleman hitting the building, Clint missing the Stalker, Field Gunners hitting the catapult in the right leg, so that's good. 10 damage to the right leg, 8 armor remaining. Firestarter missing the Locust on 12s. Stalker on the catapult hits 2 medium lasers to the right torso. And 4 SRMs splashed around a bit to the center torso, left arm, and right leg. Catapult firing medium lasers at our Field Gunners and hitting all 4 times, or 3 medium lasers and an LRM. So yeah, pretty much obliterating them because they were caught in the open. So yeah, jeez, because they don't have armor and they're caught out in the open. So a medium laser kills 4 of them instead of 1. Ouch. Well, I don't see anything I can do about keeping those guys alive. Warhammer landing. Lark fights the best from the ground. Wouldn't be a battle if he didn't flop on the ground. That's hilarious. He does though. He really does. He ends up prone like every mission. Warhammer hitting the laser carrier in the left side with a PPC, costing it a movement point, so that's good. Jarvish on the SRM carrier hitting 6 LRMs to the left side. In the front, injuring the driver. The Zhukov firing at a building and killing the crew of the turret. Archer, this is Wyvern at the laser carrier, destroyed by damage to the left side. So that is one of the major threats taken care of. Way to go, Wyvern. Thunderbolt landing a medium laser on the Stalker, no big deal, but the SRM-2 on the field gunners, killing them. And the LRM, which is wasted heat at this point. That was the laser carrier, yeah. Hoser, unfortunately wasting his shots on the laser carrier that's already dead. But I mean, hey, it never hurts to be sure when you're talking about a laser carrier. That is a lot of firepower off the field. The Maxim hover transport firing at the Orion and missing. The Orion firing at the SRM carrier and landing 3 SRMs to the front, leaving it with 5 armor and a penalty to its driving skill rolls. Grasshopper missing the field gunners with its LRM. The friendly Orion missing the Zhukov on 11s and 9s with his long-range weaponry. The enemy Archer landing 6 missiles on the Hunchback to the right leg. Hunchback on the SRM carrier hits the left side, hits the front, doesn't quite kill it. And then the other enemy Archer shooting at a turret, causing the rocket launcher to jam. Crusader on the Hunchback, that's Lark taking, ouch, another 17 damage, so that's going to be a +3 to his PSRs at the end of the phase. Center torso, right leg, center torso, left torso, right leg, left arm. So things are not going well for Lark. He's getting focused down pretty hard. Locust missing the Firestarter on 11s. LRM turret hitting the Thunderbolt with 16 missiles to the right leg, right torso, left torso. Griffin missing Hoser, and the friendly Archer missing the enemy Archer. Lark goes down on his first roll. Needed an 8, got a 7, takes 5 to the right arm, but does manage to avoid getting hurt. And then the enemy Catapult needing a 4, getting a 6, stays standing. Alright, Hoser is not going to attack the building with physical attacks. Murdoch is definitely going to be kicking at the Catapult. Catapult kicks the Stalker in the right leg for 13, leaving us with 7. Thunderbolt kicking the Stalker in the same right leg for 13, leaving us with 12 structure. And the Stalker kicking the Catapult in the left leg for 17, leaving him with 1 armor. Murdoch needs 4s 3 times, gets them all. Catapult needs a 3, gets a 3. Alright, our Orion is at 4 heat, Stalker and Hunchback at 2. Our friendly Warhammer is at 4 after firing both of his PPCs. The enemy Catapult is at 6 heat, so he's going to be a 3-5 next turn. Enemy Archer is at 6, Crusader is at 5. Enemy Griffin is at 7 heat, so he's going to have to cool it or he's going to start taking targeting penalties. Our team has lost the initiative, and within our team, we're second to go. So things are looking a little dicey to start with. Kind of want to hold off on you guys. You guys maybe move up. That Zhukov is kind of scary, but less so for the infantry, because even in the open, it's only going to kill 2 guys, right? 4 guys? Versus 10 whole points of damage against, you know, a mech. Alright. Archer v Archer. Let's get into medium range with this guy. Or do we? Let's hold off on that. Hoser. Let's go ahead and try to be slightly evasive and close the distance with this Griffin just a little bit. And then next turn we'll back up probably. Foot stealth armor. Okay. But he's not close enough to be a threat to anything. Alright, yeah, let's get to medium laser range with this Zhukov, which has crap ton of armor and the 2 autocannon 10s. Or maybe... yeah, let's go medium range for his guns, short range for ours. Oh, that SRM carrier is... wait, is it in retreat? SRM carrier is crippled and withdrawing. If we don't shoot at him, he will not shoot at us. Yes, let us get into melee range of this archer. Holding off on you for now. Lark, we are going to try to close with this rifleman. The risk is that he runs past us. And then worst case, we turn around and follow him next turn. Excuse me. Ooh, 6. Or, I don't like a 6, not for getting up. We could spend all of our movement points standing up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No matter what he does, he's going to be in our arc for the autocannon 20. Yeah, I like that. On 4. Oh. Couldn't make a 4, Lark. Sorry about that, man. So you got autocannon 5, medium laser, SRM 6. Do we want to be... yeah, we'll back up our full 8 here. Are you seriously trying to attack? Oh, the catapult did not move. Yeah, we'll stand there and slug it out with a catapult and a stalker. No problem. Alright, Hunchback. Needs a 4, gets a 2. Takes 5 to the right leg. Not only the right leg critical. But did manage to avoid... oh, what was that? Random guy, please ignore me, is now following. Okay, request granted. Thanks though. We appreciate all the follows. So we've got 8s, or an 8, since we've lost so many guys. These guys already moved. Oh man, that fire starter is... Battletech, woohoo, yes. Yes, this is MegaMek, classic Battletech style. The catapult has chosen death. Yes, he has. So that's going to be all 4 medium lasers on the fire starter. And I think both LRMs on the archer. Or do we go with the Zhukov? Yeah, let's try to cripple that Zhukov first. That archer is a threat, but that Zhukov might be easier to take down. And then we'll follow that up with some PPCs, and I still don't know why we're short heat sinks on the Awesome. That should be 38. Alright, so that's an autocannon 10. And that is medium lasers and SRMs on this archer. And again, we're ignoring that SRM carrier because he's in withdrawal. Guaranteed hits with the medium lasers, or almost guaranteed hit with the SRM. And don't forget, we are getting 24 heat sinks on the Stalker because of that battle computer. So, yes, any luck, we will be taking him out completely. Rifleman coming into the back of Lark's Hunchback, so that's not great news. Because our back armor is notoriously weak, 4, 5, and 4. So even a medium laser to the side torso is going to be dangerous. We'll go ahead and take a 12 there and some 12s here, but not enough to build up any heat. And then the Locust, I guess, doesn't have a better shot than the Wolverine, so we'll take what we've got. Alright, autocannon 20 field gunners, kills 4 of their stealth foot platoon. The Buster at the Rifleman hits it in the right leg for 10, down to 2 armor there. Wolverine shooting at a building and hitting. Rifleman into the back of the Hunchback with a large laser, 2 autocannon 5s and a medium laser, critting out that right torso rear for the autocannon 20. So that's a shame. That's one more big gun that we're going to have to replace. In the meantime, we still do have, 4 medium lasers in the small? So, not defenseless, just seriously wounded. This is Wyvern, I believe, in this archer. Yes, Wyvern at the Firestarter, landing 1 medium laser to the left arm. At the Zhukov, landing 4 hit locations, costing it half of its movement points, which should bring it down to 2-3 next turn, I believe. Awesome landing PPCs on the Zhukov, bringing it down to a 1-2, and also hitting the turret down to 34 armor there. So he is not quite crippled, but he's in a bad way. Clint shooting at a building, down to 38 points there. Wasp shooting at the Warhammer and missing. Warhammer shooting at the Wasp and missing on 10s and 12s. Barely worth shooting. The Dervish, that's the friendly Dervish shooting at the enemy archer. And this is just as confusing as last week because we've got 4 archers on the field. 1 friendly, our own, and 2 enemy archers. Random guy, please ignore me. Glad to see you here. Silent K does have a Discord site if you look at his profile. Yes. Like, comment, follow, subscribe. Link to Discord in the profile. Be a part of the community. Join the game if you want. I actually got a DM earlier this very stream from someone who would like to be a member of the mercenary unit. This is the Challenger Deep, headed by Captain Murdoch Belfry, and we're currently working on building up to a second lance. As soon as this contract is open, we should have enough techs to be able to pull that off. And Varenk, if you're so inclined, and this is an invitation, not a request, but don't forget you do have permission to post links in the chat. Or at least you should, if I did things right, which is iffy at best. Let's see. Catapult hitting civilian mechs in the right torso and right rear leg. Not quite taking that leg off, but 3 points left. Our friendly Orion at the enemy archer, hitting the left torso, right arm, 2 SRMs to the left torso, and also right arm again. The enemy Firestarter firing back at the archer to the right arm and left arm. Would have been the right arm critical, but we had an edge to negate the crit. Yes. And the Stalker firing at the catapult looks like landed pretty much everything. Large laser to the left torso, medium lasers to the right, center, and left arm. And then 4 missiles to the right torso, critting out 2 jump jets, 2 to the left arm, stripping it down to 0 armor, and the right leg down to 4 armor. Thunderbolt, meanwhile, shooting at the same Stalker with 3 medium lasers, only hitting the right arm once. 2 machine guns, 1 hits the left torso, and then the LRMs at one of the civilian units and missing. Friendly Crusader shooting at our the enemy Wolverine, missing on 11s. Lezhukov hitting Wyvern, who is one of our PCs. Sounds good. I mostly play by myself. Scenarios against the computer. Is this Mech Wars? No, this is not Mech Wars. This is against the bot. At the end of this contract, we will be swapping over to StratCon. But for now, we're just doing regular against the bot. And in fact, this is our first episode where we're playing 49.3. Up until now, we've been playing 48. So, StratCon coming soon. Let's see, enemy Maxim landing 2 LRMs on the Stalker to the left torso. Lark missing on 12s, but we knew that was going to happen. I mean, it would have been nice, but wasn't counting on it by any means. Excellent. What he means is that he will name a mech and pilot after you. He does have games when viewers play together with MekHQ. More just MegaMek than MekHQ. Every match that I've played against viewers so far has been against Gribbly, and those were all kind of one-off single. I don't want to say single episode because they generally run 2 to 4 episodes, but just single matches that aren't part of the campaign in any way. And then we've got the enemy archer shooting at our archer, landing 12 LRMs to the left leg, left arm, and right arm. Quasit missing the Clint, the enemy crusader hitting our hunchback with 17 LRMs to the left torso, right arm, right torso, left leg. Friendly archer missing the Zhukov. Enemy Griffin landing 6 LRMs at the Unhoser, who is another one of our players. That's Varank is Hoser. Lark's Tongue obviously is Lark. And then Wyvern doesn't usually catch us live, but he does watch on YouTube, which if you'd like to get caught up, I do have a YouTube channel where all my videos get uploaded to. So you're welcome to check that out. Link to that is also in my bio. Alright, so Wyvern stays standing, Catapult stays standing, enemy Archer falls, takes 7 to the right torso and left leg, and also takes a point of pilot damage. It is a shame that you joined us right at the very end though, because here in about 10 minutes I am going to be wrapping it up and calling it a night until tomorrow. Or not, yeah, until tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be playing HBS, and then a week from now I'll be continuing this mission. We are going to kick the enemy archer with our Orion on a 3, is almost guaranteed. And then our stalker, Captain Murdoch, is going to be kicking the catapult on a 1. Alright, kicked him in the arm for 15, down to 0 armor. Catapult kicks our stalker in the left leg. Thunderbolt kicking our stalker in the right leg and destroying it, transferring into the right torso. But we also legged the catapult, which is huge because this guy was a 1-3 pilot. So him being legged, he's going to have a +2 penalty on all of his shots. Rifleman kicking Lark in the left torso rear and blowing off his left arm, so that's half of his medium lasers down and transferring into the center torso. It might be time to eject Lark. One more kick like that and that hunchback is toast. Stalker goes down, takes 5 to the right leg, 4 to the right arm, or would be the right leg if he had a right leg, goes to the right torso rear. Murdoch taking a consciousness check. Enemy Catapult taking 5 to the chest, 2 to the left torso, and makes his seatbelt check. There I am this day. Well, they can't all be winners. I personally have to take some of the credit or blame for that. I've never had much luck with autocannon 20s. I always seem to miss when I need an autocannon 20 the most. It's only when You know, I'm up against an assault mech and I hit him in the leg where he's got 40 points of armor. It's the only time I ever seem to ever be able to land an autocannon 20. 2 for 3 isn't bad though. Yeah. 2 for 3 isn't bad. And the first two against Hunchbacks too. That's funny. So that's Wyvern is at 5 heat. Is that Petra? Yeah, Petra at 5 heat. Murdoch at 6 heat. I guess we lost heat sinks in that leg. Friendly Warhammer is at 4 heat. Friendly Crusader is at 4 heat. Friendly Archer is at 2 heat. Looks like that Thunderbolt is at 4. The Rifleman is at 7. That enemy Archer is at 9. Which Archer is this? Is this the good one? No, that's the 4-6. The good one is at 8 heat, so that's even cooler. So yeah, he is effectively a 4-6 for the next turn. I think our mistake was gambling a charge at the Rifleman with the SRM carrier backup. The SRM carrier only hit with 3 of the SRMs. So I feel like that... I think the problem was rolling a 2 when you tried to stand up, honestly, because that was just really bad luck, I think was what happened. So let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and save it here. Alright, we'll save that as base defense time to remind us that we ran out of time on this base defense. The SRMs did blast out the leg. Yeah, that was a lucky hit. I don't think we did anything strategically wrong. I think the problem was that we were playing the odds and the odds played us, which tends to happen with my luck. You get a hunchback in a fight between big slow mechs, you got a little buddy with a big gun helping you out. Yeah. We had the Orion helping us out. It's just the SRM carrier got a lucky crit on the leg, and then you rolled a 2 trying to stand up, and then the Rifleman got behind you and blew out your right torso and then kicked you in the left torso. I don't... Maybe I'm just being resistant to change, but I feel like there wasn't a whole lot we could have done to mitigate much of that. It was all 3 of those things I feel like were very long odds. None of those were extremely likely to happen. So I don't think that doing something differently would have been the right move. Statistically speaking, I feel like those were the right moves to make. I was more afraid of the SRM carrier than I was with the laser boat. SRM carriers tend to play long odds and work too well. Yeah, he was firing on 10s, and he was only firing for 1 turn. So landing... If you can take an SRM carrier out of the fight and only get hit by 3 SRM 6s, I feel like you've done fairly well. He only got 1 shot off, and it wasn't a great shot. I just think that he had too many chances to make that long odds shot. Because, I mean, he has just so much firepower that being anywhere near it is just catastrophically risky. So you're right. They do tend to play long odds, and they do tend to work really well. None of this would have had happened, mind you, if we just bought the Gil Kicks. Speaking of which, would you mind sending me the stats for the Gelgoogs? I wouldn't mind playing with that a little bit on my own time. SRM carrier did roll very well. Yeah, 3 out of 10 on 10s, and then a lucky crit out of... He hit with, what was it, 13 of his SRMs, and one of those he landed a through armor crit. So that 1 out of 13, a through armor crit should have been a 1 in 36 chance. He got it on a 1 out of 13 chance. A 1 out of 13 chances. All of the files are on the Gundam Tech server. Oh, I did not realize they were available for download. I will make sure and check that out. But in the meantime, I understand. I know I'm wrapping things up a little bit earlier than usual, but I guess chalk it up to fatigue. My throat is getting dry. And I guess my eyelids are getting heavy, so I'm going to go ahead and we will be calling it here. I appreciate everyone who joined us, random guy. I appreciate you joining us and following and subscribing. I'll make sure and check the Discord, and I hope everybody has a good night. I'll see you next week.